Hello, if anybody can't hear me, let me know. But we're gonna go ahead and get started here. I suppose if they can't hear me, then they wouldn't even know it, would they?
Nope. Oh, do we have mics on yet?
Looks like our mics are on. Yep, on, up. There's Molly. Molly, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. I think there's an issue with one of the links on the website for the communications
Okay.
uh committee Zoom. I clicked on the link that was on the page for communications committee,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't take me to the right place. It took me to a meeting that said that it was scheduled for December 18th, 2024.
Okay, that's good to know.
Let me make sure. Let me hop off and click that link again just to make sure. But we might want to make sure that link is either removed or corrected.
Yeah.
Right back.
Okay. For the page, that's an easy fix. I always access it from the calendar. Calendar one opens it up just fine.
Which calendar?
On the home page of the township website, the calendar at the bottom where it tells you
Yeah,
what's going on
yeah.
every day. That's how I access it is
Oh,
from the
really? I don't even, haven't even tried that. Okay.
I usually go from whatever, if it's trustees, I just go to their page, kind of do from there. If
Mhm.
it's whatever, sometimes I've had troubles, but
Maybe that's what I did, was really did it from the email and it didn't want to work very well.
Mm,
hmm,
I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while. I
Yeah.
don't want to do it anymore. So
Yeah.
but okay.
wait for Molly to jump back on and then we'll get started. Same thing happened, Molly?
Yeah, so well, I'm back. The link that's on the communications committee page takes you
Okay.
to a Zoom that does not work. Whereas when I click the link on the calendar, through the calendar, it took me right in. So I think that link is broken.
Good. Thank you for finding that out. That'll be an easy fix.
Problem.
Well,
I
that's
guess I guess everybody else must have been accessing it from the calendar. Hopefully, other
Yeah.
people, members of the public didn't, try to join and couldn't.
Well, that's a great segue into our first item on the agenda. But first, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Identify volunteers present, please. You want to start first, Karen?
Karen Kisson.
Lindsay Kuhn?
Keith Campbell.
Molly on screen?
Yes, sorry, I'm on Zoom.
All good. If there's anybody attending on Zoom right now, do you mind,
Bob Singer.
Bob Singer?
Hey guys, it's Adam. I'm here too.
Hi there. Thank you for chiming in there. So, as I mentioned, the first order of business items from, previous meetings is the website update. So, if you remember, we had a long discussion in our last meeting where we started making a list. We started combing through the website page by page by page, started making a list of pages that seemed broken, redundant, information missing, etc. And we stopped right at kind of what we're calling the fun stuff. We went through like government departments and we stopped at like parks and community. And we had a discussion that Adam had brought up about it, how much work is this going to be? Would it actually be a worthwhile investment for the township to have the website company do this work for us? So I asked Ashley about those concerns, and she brought up that she's afraid that by the time you type up everything to be like, please move this to the left, please add this picture, please type in all this information, that you might as well have just tried to put it on the page yourself. Because like that's the hard part is typing up all the information that is needed. So she said, let's just try it. So Ashley and I sat down together for 1 hour last Tuesday and then 1 hour again this Tuesday here in the township office and went through the instructions that revised website company sent for how to log in, how to change things. And we made a huge dent in the list in just those two sit down sessions. So it feels like it's pretty doable, just chipping away here and there, scheduling time. And I wanted to point out a couple of things on the township website. We started with the government section because obviously we're just going in order, and we cleaned up pages that didn't need to be there. So, for example, there was a fiscal office landing page that had no information on it. Then there was a fiscal officer page. And same thing, there was a trustees landing page that had no information on it, then a board members page. So we were able to combine all of those per our discussion. We got rid of pages that literally had no information on them, like FAQ. We were able to set up employment opportunities, which was a page that had no information on them. We were able to update the employee directory. So we've got all the way over to boards, committees, and commissions, which is great that Molly's bringing up that the communications page needs a broken link fixed, because we said the next time we sit down together, we'll meet next week for an hour and we'll go through those 4 committee pages and get all those cleaned up. So it was pleasantly not a huge deal because I don't think we're talking about like major functionality changes here. We're just talking about add copy that needs to be added that's missing, or delete pages that are unnecessary. There was a whole page with like old Delaware County tax information that we deleted. And I do want to caveat when I say deleting, we didn't actually physically delete anything. We hid them because we didn't want to make major deletions and then like find out 3 weeks later that was really
Right.
important. So we just hid them for now. So let some time pass, but it effectively looks like they're deleted on the front end of the page, but they were not, like, their data was not completely erased in the back end of the website, just to be safe. So that's a really exciting update. And does anybody have any questions or comments about that before we continue on with our agenda?
No, just great work, Lindsay.
Yeah, it's
And
really
Kat.
exciting. The updating the website, once you like actually know how to log in and do it, and they gave instructions, was really pretty easy to do. So I think we could just keep going on our list, and then once we are all back together and we get to the section of community and facilities and stuff, we can do that whole exercise again that we did a month or 2 ago, where we go page by page by page. So that being said, our next item on the agenda is the distributing communications at the farmers market. I was curious, is anyone available the 13th, which is tomorrow, or the 20th to pass out newsletters and ask for email signups? Has anybody seen the farmers market to see if there's been a lot of attendance before?
There's not a whole lot of
Yeah.
deals.
That's
I was
what's
gonna say,
What's that?
that's swim lesson night for us, so we don't usually I can't make it to the farmers market, but we drive past it at like around 6:30 every evening, and it's, to Karen's point, a couple of tents and a couple of people.
I have under 70 people, but I mean, not even that, maybe 50, but
Okay. The first couple times that we did it, the attendance was low, and everybody had said, I'm already getting emails. So
Wait.
no big deal if not. I just wanted
We'd
to
normally go down just to buy dinner, so
Yeah, at the
the
food truck.
food trucks gets business, they
Yeah.
don't lose that
that part of it, yeah.
perk
Yeah.
of it. And the vendors was very poor. I mean, it was not there.
Well, a
no
lot
fun
of
anything.
vendors weren't there. There was more last week than we had recently.
And if
but-
there's no vendors, then there's no people. So
Yeah.
that kind of defeats the purpose. So I just wanted to check to see if anybody had seen that it's growing. Now the weather had gotten nice, because obviously in the beginning we had a freakish beginning of the summer where it was like freezing cold and raining during the farmers market. So I could understand why that wasn't well attended, but it doesn't sound like.
Well, tomorrow's supposed to be really bad weather, can be in the afternoon.
This was thunderstorm. You're right.
That's, yeah.
Because I only half watered my vegetables this morning because it's supposed to thunderstorm tomorrow. Yeah.
And then the 20th, I'm going to be out of commission.
Okay. Well, we'll scratch out the 13th at least, and then we'll all circle back and check on the 20th. Because it is supposed to thunderstorm tomorrow. You are exactly right. It says, the last time I checked, it said 68% chance. So that's not looking great. Okay, more old business, $50 per month boosting budget. I'm working with Lisa Hersey to get her access into that Facebook account to set up a township credit card. Based off of my research, we should not have to worry about, because the Harlem Township is a tax exempt organization. What we are doing, we're, boosting Facebook posts. These are not physical products. They do not have sales tax added. We don't have to worry about any sort of like forms or anything like that. So working with Lisa Hersey on that. And then I made great headway on the Civic Association and getting a hold of people. Thank you, Karen, for sending me contact information. So according to Nancy Singer, the Civic Association has a couple of things coming up. One of them being in September, that is more so just like a potluck for residents with music and entertainment. But then the actual kind of election year stuff that they do will start on October 7th, where it'll be a candidates night at the Grange. And I believe Valerie Peterson will be the one coordinating that. So
What day was that?
October 7th, Tuesday, October 7th. So we've got a date to shoot for, and we've got a date to, promote. So we're gonna talk about this October 7th date with our upcoming newsletter, because we did want a newsletter to come out in October for this reason. It kind of sounds like it probably needs to come out early in the month. That way we can get the promotion and get any communication that needs to be done for this Meet the Candidates night and the whole election season. So we'll get to that, but it's happy to hear from them and see that we will be able to work with them on that. So that's kind of all old business. And does anybody have any questions or comments before we look ahead? Great. Molly, I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, shaking my head as in no.
Okay, so the resources section of the August 26th email blast. It's my understanding that during the August trustee meeting, due to the length of the last trustee meeting, a couple things fell off the agenda. One of them was the home rule discussion. So I assume that as long as the timing works out, that the home rule discussion will happen during the August trustee meeting. And Adam, if there was anything to add to communications for that, you would just let us know. We could potentially plug that into that August 26th email.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, one thing to mention, the only reason there wasn't a discussion for that in the previous meeting was because there was not an update, not necessarily a time constraint on the meeting, just that we didn't have anything material to discuss that had been different from the previous conversation.
Yeah.
And at this point, I don't know that will be a different story when we get to the regular meeting on the 20th. So, I can't say that there's any update on that right now. I don't know that this is, at this point, it does not look like the timetable is going to align for this to be a November 2025 ballot issue. So, I don't know that there's going to be a whole lot of news on that over the next couple of months. Maybe something new in September, but we'll see how that goes.
Okay, cool. Good to know. So we probably don't need to worry about that. We'll see if anything changes on August 20th. But one thing that could be fun, sitting with Ashley, is that the Revise company taught us how to do the functionality on the website where people can subscribe to notifications. So if you want to get notified whenever a public notice goes out, or if you want to get notified whenever the agendas get updated. So we thought that might be a good thing to feature at the top of that email.
Mhm.
Just to show people that you can go on the website, you can sign up for notifications. So that might be a big highlight. Other than that, anything, Harlem Township Heritage, this will all be after Harlem Township Days. But anything Harlem Township Heritage wise?
No, because we just sent out a blast today. Well,
Okay.
matter of fact, tonight was at 6 o'clock
Okay.
to our address. I mean, most people who's ever getting that
Mhm.
tell them about the activities, what's going on. What it's going to be some neat things is that, Mr. Bumblebee will be there.
Mr. Bumblebee, what's Mr. Bumblebee?
He's like the Bumblebee, car thing that he's just dressed up, but he can't be called, the
okay.
regular Bumblebee. But we are having the encampment people come and stay and to put on talks
Okay.
and we are having a 1912 fire truck.
Cool.
And it's going to go around different places, but we get to be the first.
That's fun.
So there's things like that. And we do
Yeah.
have music and,
Mm-hmm. Music and there's food vendors.
there's food. Yeah. We
Yeah.
are feeding the seniors of Harlem Township. So
Great.
anybody over 80. So
For free? Is that what you're
yes,
saying? Okay.
yes, we do that. We pay for it. So
Township for free, anyone over 80.
mhm.
Wonderful.
But we know who they are, most of them, because we send out letters to make sure they're coming. So.
Oh, okay, that's nice. So you have RSVPs.
Mhm.
Okay, so perhaps there could be like a recap of that, like a thank you.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Yeah, let's come up with that.
Recap / thank you from Harlem Township Days. And then I just listed 2 Harlem Township Civic Association events that we could add in there. But other than that, it doesn't seem like there's anything out of the ordinary going on. So
No,
that's probably
not
going to
until
be
September.
not until September. So that's probably going to be our list, which matches our social media list pretty well. So this week, remind people about Harlem Township Days. Darlene, who couldn't be here tonight, she responded to my email with the agenda and said, put me down for the Did You Know? She had a couple of other thoughts about the newsletter that we'll get to, but we could potentially post that same thank you recap from Harlem Township Days on social.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, we are having back the tractors too.
Nice. Kids love that. And maybe post about the Civic Association events. So that matches nicely. I like when we don't have to reinvent the wheel and we can just repeat the same things. Molly, do you have an update on park concrete silo information?
Wheels button.
Hold on, Dylan, I have to speak now. Yeah, so I actually do. I tried to forward you all the emails that Tom sent me with all the photos attached, and I cannot.
Oh,
Like
no.
I think there's like too many, like I don't know if there's like a megabyte restriction, but every time I try to forward one of the emails, I get an error that says it couldn't forward it. So I got frustrated and gave up, and that was like 2 weeks ago, and then I forgot again. So I, okay, go on the potty then, Dylan. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So probably what I need to do is like download all the photos, find the best ones, and just send them to you instead of forwarding them all to you.
Okay, great. And that will come with like a write-up of like they tore it down and here's the thought behind it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I could put that together.
Great. So that could be good. I think pictures are always good for social media, so people might enjoy that. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posts, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Well done, everybody. So that brings me to the meat of the meeting, which is October newsletter prep. So as we just talked about, the Meet the Candidates night on October 7th. So in order to make sure that that information gets sent out, email, social media, and then in print, because we know print goes to everybody at the moment, then we would likely want to get that out, want to get the newsletter sent to the printer with the intention that is starting to be hitting people's mailboxes like October 1st, 2nd, 3rd, like at the latest. So that would mean that content would need to be in by September 12th, because then that would give a week to put it together and then give them a week to get it printed and mailed. And then so it start hitting mailboxes at the right time. Which that lines up nicely just when Lisa, our fiscal officer, needs the payment for it and everything like that. So that's my thought on when content needs to be in by. Before we start going through content, does anybody have any thoughts or considerations you want to bring up about that? Seem like a good plan? Might be a little bit earlier in the month than we originally thought. We thought maybe we would have thought like mid-October, but it hits the October timeline. It gets everybody involved with the big things happening in October and November. So I think it'll be worth pushing for it.
It's just like getting it out to people about the candidate stuff. So
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
think that's probably a good thing.
Yeah. Okay. So the sections from last time were a trustee letter, maintenance, zoning commission, zoning department, economic development, depending on what the latest on that is, parks, fiscal, fire, communications, heritage, BZA, and then now we're talking about featuring this election information in the Civic Association night. One of Darlene's thoughts when she sent me an email was it would probably be nice to interview all the candidates on the ballot and have like a picture of them and just like pick the same 5 questions that everybody answers the exact same. That way people read about them, and then if they want to come to the Meet the Candidates night and talk, then they have like a baseline to, ask questions for, which I thought sounded like a lovely idea. It sounded like more purposeful information than just like a posting that says on October 7th there's a Meet the Candidates night. It's actually like, kind of being a little bit more in depth. So I liked that idea. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
Just a question, would that be limited to the trustee candidates or the school board candidates as well?
The trustee candidates, I believe.
Okay, I was gonna say, because there's a lot, that'd be a lot to people to,
Right.
because there's just like 5 school board candidates. So to have the
Right.
5 school board plus the 4 trustees, that'd be a lot to fit in a newsletter.
Yeah. I could see probably just the trustees, and then we could have other information, like other important things you should know, and if
Yeah,
like we
see,
could put, yeah.
that'd be easier because of really, everyone's looking at really the trustees
Right.
at this point.
So, I like that idea. I thought it's probably would like fill it out nicely. Darlene said she'd be happy to do some interviews. I was not aware, Molly and Adam, that you lived near each other. So I was going to ask Molly that if you would want to take a section for the newsletter, it would be one of those interviews, especially if you lived near each other.
Yeah, I could interview Adam. Let's
Great.
meet in the backyards and answer some questions while the boys are playing.
You weren't
Yeah.
aware of that, Lindsay? That news was salacious a couple of years ago.
Oh, I know, right? Like we were in
Yeah.
cahoots and like
Oh,
grand
shoot.
conspiracy.
Oh man, I missed the whole thing. Darn.
It's kind of funny.
Yes. Okay. So, okay, well, let's jump in then to taking these sections. So this section here at the bottom about interviews, Molly and Darlene to do some interviews. Then I'm going to just start at the top because I don't like bouncing around. So I can email the trustees, see if they have any sort of introductory letter. And I usually email maintenance as well. In the past, Molly, have you done zoning in the past, or is that Darlene because Louis on the zoning commission?
I think normally Darlene was taking that one, but I mean I'm happy to send an email request if I need. Hey, check stop that.
Yeah. But you've done zoning department then, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I could take that on. It's not a big deal.
Okay. All right, sending an email there. And usually when I email the trustees, I ask about economic development, like what they want to feature, so I can do that. Now for parks, they've got stuff going on with like the America 250 and like the cemetery tours. So we probably want to mention those because that's like a constant thing that's happening throughout the year where they're going to have different tours of like Revolutionary War graves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that
they
could
are.
be fun, especially because it'll be starting to get to fall and less park stuff happening, I feel like. Then fiscal, I usually email. What about Heritage and BZA? What do we think we would want to feature for the newsletter? I'm going to ask Steve if he wants to reach out about parks like last time.
I was trying to think, I can check, but I don't think there's much except for just what we did, what we're
Mhm.
doing.
Maybe a longer recap about Harlan Township days or with pictures.
Joni generally takes the pictures. I can get it, or I might take some. So yeah, I can get
Okay.
information on it, more of an update and saying what it kind of turned out and looking, pictures and
Mm-hmm.
show that. But I think, and just tell them just to start looking forward for, September, October, November, December for the different
Yeah.
projects.
So for pictures of Harlem Township days and also any, November, October, November, December things to
Right.
feature.
Yeah, we just give it briefly and then.
Does the BCA have any meetings coming up? Or
I mean,
have
our meeting the
any decided?
18th, we have nothing, we expect to make it an application, but that's,
Mhm.
you don't, until you get it, you don't know it.
Mhm. Okay.
And then we just, you set a hearing 30 days after that, so then
Yeah.
that would not be till September. So,
So we'll have to keep checking.
yeah, there's nothing really going
And
on.
just like last time, will you write that up if one comes up for me?
Yeah, if see September. So September, October, I'm gonna be gone for a while.
Oh, are you? Okay.
So,
Well,
But
I'll check in with you in September then, since there's nothing on the agenda right now.
but there's nothing, until they actually present the application, we don't know. I mean, they're rumored they're gone too, but
Okay.
We haven't actually physically seen it yet, so.
Okay. So like I said, I'm gonna ask Steve if he would look into parks, because he did that last time, and then also Karen Armbruster, who is always on our community emails and always says, give me whatever you need to give me. I'm gonna ask her about the interviews as well, just to split those up. So beside, those are all of the regular sections.
Mhm.
Am I missing anything? Are we just getting good at this now? So it feels like it's less of a
Yeah.
an over what's an undertaking rather.
Right.
But a lot of
Because-
it is the same thing.
Yeah.
Just
We're just
just
going
make it
back
up,
through
just
and
make it
and
updates,
updating it.
what's changed from the last time.
Exactly. So it only gets easier each time, you know?
Especially when you know the website is a big thing and we're leaning that down by getting that
Mhm.
fixed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'm gonna say for our communications feature, if we can figure out this notifications on the website, I should probably feature that just to make sure as many people possible see that they can sign up for notifications on the website.
right. And just tell them we have been working on an updating, making
Mhm.
it easier.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we just kind of get in a flow and we know what's supposed to be in it, and then there's always something interesting changing each time, but I think that's why it seems to be getting easier and easier. So what else? That's the end of my things I know these things are coming up, but typically we always think of something else. Does anybody have anything in person or online to talk about communications? Because this meeting might be half an hour, if not.
Hey, it's efficient.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Especially because if people like feel comfortable with their newsletter sections, you just take the same ones. It just makes it efficient.
The good thing for me is we are getting stuff out to the residents now, but that never happened before. So that's
Absolutely.
it's a great thing. So
Absolutely. Oh, you just reminded me of something that probably should start with this newsletter. If not even earlier, maybe the August and September email blast is our whole push to, if you receive digital communication, you're not going to start getting printed stuff next year to save money. So that should start.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So perhaps that could be in our email blast in
Each
August,
time to keep
starting
mentioning it.
in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a reminder, we want to, get you on our email and log list to keep the cost down for the.
So
I have a question on, Lindsay, do you know how that's going to be managed, like going forward? Like what happens if somebody moves out of the township who is getting digital communications and then there's a new owner in the house?
mhm.
Like how are we going to kind of stay on top of it? Not that we have like a lot of turnover in Harlem Township right now,
Yeah.
but eventually, if we have more housing down the road and like how are we going to manage that long term?
That's a great question and a great thing to discuss. So my thought is, if somebody moves, it will be up to them to unsubscribe
I agree with that.
to the emails. But in terms of a new person, that's a fun challenge. A brand new person in the township, how do you get them circled into, make sure you're following the Facebook page, make sure you're getting on the email list.
Yeah,
mean,
just because my concern is like, okay, if whoever moves out of the township doesn't unsubscribe or doesn't like notify, like if there's someone new that the previous person was getting digital, so they didn't get a printed one, we're obviously not going to be sending a printed mailer to that address unless we like know that there's a new owner. And
Yeah.
I think I'm sorry. I just throwing it in there, Keith. I don't want to cut you off. I know that there are methods that like realtors can use to understand when houses are sold, things like that. But I also wonder if it's just as easy as maybe like once a year sending out a standard mail communication to the mailing list to see if everybody is up to date, right? Like, have you updated your notification settings, things like that. There's probably a couple of options there.
yeah, I don't just. It doesn't need to
Wait,
be solved today, but just something to think about. And isn't one of the Karens on this committee a realtor?
Yeah, Karen, we could ask her about that. That's a great point.
Yeah, that's right.
And so Adam, just to repeat what you said maybe like we'd have to send out like once a year, just like a one page, letter that's like, hey,
Or
to
even
all
just-
residents.
Even just a postcard. Might
A
not even be-
postcard, exactly. Okay, that's what he was saying. All right.
Yeah, post.
Well, yeah, and it's like the welcome home mag or something like
Yeah.
that. Like it's some sort of direct mail piece. So the technology's out there. I think we would just have to figure out how to apply it to us. And I think we probably already have some resources on the team, like you mentioned, Karen, but also maybe even Angela Cryle at Cryle Communications. I mean, that's kind of her bag. So I think we probably have some avenues we could go down to figure out the solution to that. Let technology do all the hard work.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great idea. So into technology about people moving.
But
And how to
I
notify
wondered
them.
if like the auditors or treasurer's office, some have, when property changes, they have a way you can track it there.
Yeah.
I think there is like a database you could like sort on the auditor's website and pull up like, recently sold properties. I just don't know if that would be like, that's one possible method, but is that like the best method? Is there alternate methods of, kind of staying on top of it? So
Yeah.
options, just let's, try to gather some more information and
I'm glad-
proceduralize that for down the road.
Yeah, like before we, make the move to have a plan, because that's a great question that somebody will likely bring up. So also move to digital. Okay, so then in the printed email, we can start notifying people about our intentions, and then in the newsletter and the communication section, we can reiterate it there as well.
Correct.
Great. Love it. That's a good. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else?
Yeah, I know it's kind of a small sample set on this call, but I am kind of curious if anybody, in earshot has gotten any kind of feedback or comments from neighbors or the like about what's going on in Genoa right now with the Columbus annexation.
I've seen some things on Facebook. Just people seem not sure like why Columbus is doing it, and everyone gets up in arms about stuff like that. But not a lot direct from people that I know.
Yeah, and I
Right.
think sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, a friend of mine that lives in Westerville said she saw it online, but that's about
seen
it.
it.
That's all I
I
saw
seen it on-
online, but I
I seen it
have
on
people that
Facebook.
live in Genoa, so I could probably question that with them.
Yeah, there definitely seem to be a lot of questions and confusion amongst the citizens of Genoa Township, and doing my online research of it, right, and seeing what the social view is, I'm reminded again of just how far down that process like we have come with Harlem Township, and honestly, these days it makes me really proud is how well educated we are as a township, of how these things work and what the outcomes are. What's going on in Genoa right now is nothing different than what Columbus did in gosh, the name escapes me.
Berlin?
Blendon Township.
Blendon.
Blendon,
Thank you,
okay.
Bob. Yeah, Blendon. I get my Blendons and Berlins confused sometimes, but yeah, it's the exact same thing. They're just annexing land that already belonged to them.
Right.
And so it makes very little impact. On top of that, the land is all water. So I was curious if that was something that we needed to, a bull we needed to grab by the horns. I try to stay, within our boundaries, right, when it comes to news and topics, but I think it's always good to put out a fire before it starts to flame
Fair.
up too much.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
I haven't seen anyone from Harlem Township raise any alarm bells about concerns about that happening in Genoa.
Good point.
And yeah, I second what you said, Adam, about like I'm glad that Harlem Township has tried really hard to educate its citizens more on how all of that works and the different tools that townships have. Because some of the comments I was seeing from like Genoa residents, it's a very complex topic, and people miss some, I'm really glad that we in this township have taken the time to try to get information out there so people know what annexation is and isn't and how it
Yeah.
all works.
Totally agree.
Well, I'll wrap us up here, but I did think of one more anything else. Recently, something was presented by the zoning commission to the trustees, I believe, about signage. Adam, is that correct? It was passed, it was like signage regulations. And that might be worth sharing to the larger Harlem Township residents, just that there had been a new like resolution passed that the zoning commission had created. I'm not sure if it's like if it's too complicated for email, and perhaps we could have them plan to explain it in the printed newsletter where they have more room. Or if it's pretty simple, we could put it in both places. Do you have any feedback on that, Adam?
I mean, the signage piece that I kind of brought up during the meeting was really just like one line item and a lot of different edits and changes that kind of came to that part of the code. So I think there might be more to it rather than muddying the waters, but I'd kind of let, Keith speak to that or maybe hear from other folks. I don't know if it's communication that would be necessary in the newsletter.
Okay, good to know.
Basically, a lot of the signage was from the original, when the resolution was originally written,
Mhm.
and it was so outdated. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
there was so many the like digital signs were not allowed.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like,
I
you know,
see. So
that's
that's
what-
the problem.
And then a lot of the signs needed a lot of permits that was like, it would take 2 months to get a permit through whatever.
Okay.
And they put all that over to the zoning inspector,
Mhm.
let him go ahead, and if it met all the criteria that was required, let him go ahead and write the permit instead of having to go through the BZA and get, 60 days of delay just because what
Because
was
what it said.
what it said
Yeah.
in resolution. So it was just a cleanup process more, I think, than anything else. And then I don't think it actually changed a whole lot of the regulations.
Okay.
It just kind of made it up to date a little better. So
Okay,
That's-
cool.
you think that's right, Adam?
Yes, I agree with that, Keith. Like I said, I think it was just updating and not unimportant, but does not really change much as we function or what we expect in the township. Just another example of our zoning team being ahead of the curve, man. I'm telling you, I would put them up against any neighboring municipality in a minute.
Well, good. I'm glad that we were able to get that cleaned up. It doesn't sound like it's probably anything major or anything like that. Okay. Shall I go ahead and adjourn us
Yeah,
at 7:07? Not too bad.
no, not bad at all.
No, not bad at all.
Well, thank you all for a great discussion. We are on top of it and we are looking ahead, and I think it's going to be good for everybody that we are anticipating things happening and we're planning for them so that we can get communication out. So great job, everybody.
Good.
All right. Adjourned.
Thanks, Lindsay. Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Where do you